me to turn it. I did not want it like this. Okay. Well, I guess it's just gonna have to be what it's gonna be right now, huh? Okay, that's fine. We're gonna work it out. Well, I'll give y'all a moment to get on in here, to have a little bit of time so I could chit chat with y'all. But I want to start off by saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is for you right now. And thanks for tuning in to Cali's Homesteading with Poohbear. It's your girl Poohbear. And I would just like to say, please click like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. What's up, Sheed? How are you? What's up, Sheed? Um, I was just talking to Lonzo the other day, like what, 2 days ago, and he was saying how there are a few men, there are a few men on YouTube that he feels like, y'all are really about something, because a lot of the guys are like he-man woman hater club. But he's like, you are one of the cool brothers that he can really talk to, have an adult conversation with. So hi, I thank you for being that for our brother Lonzo, because that brother is really out here. He's really doing the daggone thing. I'm so proud of him. When I grow up, I'm gonna be like that. making that that shmoney, but it's all good. But I wanted to talk about a lot of things that are going on out here. It's so crazy. I was watching this video off of Roland Martin's channel, and it I want to say it broke my heart, because it did, but at the same time I realized that we are becoming desensitized to the stuff that is happening in this world. So what I'm talking about is, there's a video that happened, they were talking about it like maybe 2 or 3 days ago on Roland Martin's channel. And what it is there was a young lady that had a 3-month-old baby in her arms. Now, they were in a car with somebody. I don't know if she was driving or somebody else was driving. I don't know. But the baby was not in a car seat. Now, they initially pulled the car over because the tail light was busted or something like that. And so they wound up making everybody get out of the car. There was 2 women that had children in the car. The baby wasn't in the car because there wasn't enough space. They had the car seat, it was in the trunk. But it went from a busted tail light to the children were not in car seats. So that's an infraction. They should have just gotten a ticket for that. But they decided they were arresting her, and they were taking the baby, and she was like, "You're not taking my baby from me." And they were like trying to take the baby out of her hands. She was telling her sister, "You have custody of my baby. Come and get the baby." But they wouldn't let her give the baby to her sister. They wanted to take the baby out of her hands. And when she was like, and it's not like she was resisting, like physically, like trying to fight them. She was just like, "No, you'll take my baby off of my dead body." The thing that really bothered me is, number one, there was no reason for that. And then number two, what really bothered me was the fact that then a male cop starts punching her in her face. They had her baby dangling upside down by a leg. She's like, "You're breaking my baby's leg. You're breaking my baby's leg." And everything. And I'm sitting here going, this is in California. This was in California. And so I'm sitting here going, why are y'all doing this to this woman? You know? And I mean, she wasn't doing anything. And this is all going off of their body cams. So they can't really justify the fact that well, for one, that the cops started punching her in her face. They wouldn't allow her to give the baby to her sister. And there was another woman sitting on the floor, sitting on the ground with her baby in her legs, and yes, these women are Black, they're African American, and no, the police were not. They were not African American. And then I found out that this happened a year ago. It happened a year ago. And the only reason that it's making traction right now is because she finally got to the point to where she's suing, because she had to deal with DPSS and some other legal battles that she was dealing with because she didn't have custody of her kid. And so they were trying to get her for child endangerment and all of this stuff. At the end of the day, whether she had a baby in the car seat or not, why did y'all make all of them get out of the car in the first place? Did you even have a legitimate legal reason to search the car to have everybody get out? And why would you take her baby out of her hands? And for me, it really triggered something to me, being that she was an African American woman and they were non-African American police officers. It took me back. Now, although I physically did not experience it, but my ancestors, and it's in my DNA, of them taking our babies from us and selling them. And she kept saying, not my baby, can't take my baby. I'll give it to my sister. I'll give it to my sister. And it just was like, it just triggered something in me that I didn't even really know was there, because I just saw myself just bawling. For one, I'm a mother of 6, so I'm putting myself in her position. What if that were to happen to me and someone tried to take my kids take my kids from me or whatever? But then it just made me go back to the oppressor taking our children from us, and we never see our kids again. They put her, she was in jail for 4 days. And they put that baby, if I'm not mistaken, they put that baby in the system until the family could get the baby. And for what? For what? She hadn't done anything. There was no warrant out for her arrest. She didn't have drugs on her, no alcohol, open bottles, like nothing. So there was no reason for them to flex on her. And then you're so worried about her with her baby being endangered in that car, but you're dangling him upside down. But she's like, you're breaking my baby's leg. You're breaking my baby's leg. You didn't care about that baby's leg. You didn't care about it then. You were so busy trying to force her to succumb to your demand that you didn't even take into consideration what you could be doing to the baby. It just baffles me. And then the cop that actually punched her, I understand that he's been relieved of duties, but this is from what I understand now, and I could be wrong. I'm going to say allegedly. All of this allegedly, because I don't want nobody coming for me, but allegedly he did not get relieved of duties until paperwork got filed a year later. So that is telling me that the authorities over this individual allegedly was okay with what had happened, because there was allegedly no recourse, no punishment, until a year later when her lawyer decided to file. So when it seems like we are moving forward reality is we are still so far behind. And as a mom, it just really shook me, you know, that in this day and age, people, regardless to what your position is, can just have a innate disdain for you for no reason, just because they can, because they don't have to like you, because they have power or authority over you, that they can just force you to do what they want you to do. And when you don't, they can like break your baby's leg or take your life, give up your ghost. And it makes me wonder, what is it all for? Like, what is it all for? Why is it that groups of people are allowed to treat other groups of people poorly? And I'm not even just talking about the black and white thing. No, even in classism, why do people always have to feel that they are better than other people? And even if you are financially better than other people, or maybe your health is better than other people, why do we as a society feel like we have to? Good morning, Starduster, too. Hi, sis. Why do we have to show that we're better? Like, if I am wearing a $5 shirt and you're wearing a $500 shirt, at the end of the day, it's just a shirt. And to be truthful with you, my $5 shirt might feel better on my body and look better than your 50 or no $500 shirt. For example, remember on the Cosby Show when Theo was trying to impress Lana, Lana, and he wanted that Gordon Gartrell shirt. And that shirt was what? It was over $100. I can't remember exactly how much it was. But that Gordon Gartrell shirt was really expensive. And then when he got Denise to make him the replica and it was all botched up, they loved the Gordon Gartrell replica, the one that Denise made. Remember his friends wanted her to make him one? And he was all embarrassed and everything at first, but then it was just like, wow. Nothing wrong with being home. Oh, yeah. So I prefer my $5 shirt too. Thank you. Exactly, because it's probably gonna be much more comfortable. But it's just like I really don't understand why the people. It's like Tyler Perry's show, the have and the have nots. The haves, they may have all the finance and the fortune and even somewhat of the power, but they are some of the most miserable people because they have to maintain all of this persona and all of the responsibility and everything. I personally don't think that I ever want to be super duper wealthy. Like, I'm understanding now that rich is not wealthy. Rich is you're good, you got good money. Might have a couple of million put up. But wealthy is that old generational money that's like there, like you can't spend it in a lifetime. I'm not worried about all that. I want to have money put aside for my great grandkids and stuff, but that's not my all in all. I want to be rich in love and friendships with my family, hanging out with my girls, my husband, my ministry, my YouTube family. That's what makes me rich. I don't have to worry about all of the perpetrating the fraud that a lot of these people have to deal with. Like I was watching this movie, and I can't think of the name of it, but they were having like this lady, she was doing like a fundraiser, and she was excited that she had raised $200,000 for the war on juvenile cancer. But when she walked away, one of the women that she was talking to, that, oh, it was at the dry cleaners, she said, yeah, but she probably spent $500,000 giving this fundraiser to only make $200,000. And I was like, I would not want to be in that situation. I just wouldn't. I feel like rich for me is my health. I feel like I'm really, really rich, to be told you would never be able to conceive, but be pregnant 7 times. I'm rich in favor from God. What? God said yes when man said no. I feel I'm really rich to be 47 years old and still be all right, and I have my own home. And but even if I didn't, even if I was in a tent, and I have my God, and I have my family, and I have my friends, I have love. A lot of people that are in these positions don't have what we have. And so I'm like, I don't think I want to be rich. And yes, you can get up and go get on your yacht whenever you want to, or go get it on your jet and go from here to there, and you can go to Dubai and all of these beautiful things. And that's really good. You get a lot of cultural experiences. You can go to the best boutique or department store, and you can buy whatever you want. That's good. You can go home and have somebody put all that stuff up for you. That's good. But is your family there to greet you? Are they happy you're home? You have your kids up coming to hug you and say hi? No. They buy their kids. I've been noticing a lot of the wealthy are so busy chasing the dollar that they don't have time for their kids. So the nanny's raising them, and they're raising themselves. Like, I was watching one of the Real Housewives shows. I don't want to say which one, but this woman had like 2 kids, and she had like 4 nannies. And I was just like, now, I was a military wife because Earl was in the Navy, and we had 4 kids, and he was on deployment for 6 months. My mom would come to help me, but I didn't have a nanny. Just like Biggie said, more money, more problems. I agree. I want to be comfortable. I want to be able to know that if my roof caves in, we got the money to cover it after the insurance. I want to know that if my van breaks down, I can put it in the shop and get it fixed. My kids need something, I can take care of that. They want to go to college, or they need help getting an apartment, or whatever the case may be, I can take care of it. I want to be that kind of comfortable. you know I want to be able to go and purchase other properties and have income properties and things of that nature. Open up, different insurance companies across my state and maybe into other states as my insurance business gets bigger in the near future. But you're right, all needs are met. Exactly. I do not want to be the person that has to put 12-hour day shifts in, because you don't get those 12 hours back. When Earl and when he got out of the military, we had to make a decision because I was working. We were both going to school. We were back, back in school getting our degrees. And we had 6 kids and we had to still work. And so I was like with 5, 6 classes and I'd be working like 2 jobs. And one of my jobs required me to be gone a lot. Roll the windows up at the airport. A lot. One of my jobs required me to be gone a lot. Like I would do like 10-hour shifts, and so one day, Diamond came up to me and was like, "Oh, you're here. Okay, well, I just want to give you a hug because I know you're going to go to sleep because you got to go back to work in a little bit." And I was just like, "Oh, wait, hold up. No, this is not the relationship that I want with my kids." I, I didn't like when Earl would be, in and out, but that was his job. He was in the military, but I was there. Now this time he was home more like cuz he was only working one job and going to school, but I was doing um respite care, in-home care for children with special needs, and I was working at a different store. So it was like, we just didn't have, I wasn't making the time, but I was getting paid really good money. So I was like, our family needs this money. And so then Earl and I, we talked about it because my kids were missing me. I was missing them. I was missing him and everything. And so I was like, I know that this job is paying really good money, but I need to let it go because our family is suffering. And he agreed. And so I let that job go and I kept the other job, which was a part-time job. And was it a little tougher? Yeah. But did we get through it? Yeah. And for me, I just feel like if I have to choose between making good money versus being with my family, I pick my family because you don't get those moments back. Your children grow up and then they move away. And then all those special moments that you missed out on, I didn't want to miss out on stuff. You know, um, by the time the kids really got good and in school, Earl was out of the Navy. We did our 8 years, and so he was able to go to the basketball games and the dance recitals and football games when the boys were in high school and everything. So we got to do all of that. So now Maya's about to be 15. Selena is about to be 17. They're the last two. If we want to go hard in the paint, then we can because they're not babies anymore. And plus we homeschool. So guess what? While we go hard in the paint, they can go hard in the paint with us. One of the best things that I love about homeschooling is I take my kids with me. They have their tablets, and then I have my mobile hotspot. I get 100 gigs a month. Pay $50 for this. $50 a month, and they get 100 gigs a month. So y'all will see. I'm in the car. I got one kid here, one kid there, one kid in the back, three in the back, one right here, and the two little ones, they bring their work with them. If I wanted to go from here to Michigan this week coming up, they would not skip a beat. So they can go with me. And I love that because I get to be with my kids. I'm going to tell y'all something. When we went on our cruise, I had my hotspot. They were doing their work. I still made them take a couple of minutes, like 2 hours, get your work done, and then we still go out because I was working too. Like even, I don't know if you guys saw when we did the West Coast meetup at the beach with juicing with Jay and with Precious SoCal. There was a point Diamond was recording me and I didn't know, but I was putting a policy in the computer because I had a deadline and I was like, we chilling and all, but I still gotta work just for a little bit. But see, the difference is I put in a little bit of work and I'm making nice money versus putting in a lot of time and barely making minimum wage. Now, when I was doing the respite work, I think minimum wage was like $8 and I was making like 11 something. So it was good money for me back then. But no, now I can, well, minimum wage here is like 15, 15.50, 15.75, something like that. But I can sit down, do a policy for like, oh, hey. So I'm like, I can do a policy 45 minutes, put everything in the system. When it gets approved, I'm making a minimum of like $200-300 for 1 hour worth of work. That policy could be a couple of $1,000s. It could be more than that. But the amount of time that I have to put in, I'm just sitting here punching information into the computer. And then that's that, And so as I'm making this transition, and that's really where this is all coming from, as I'm making the transition with my wrist and everything and my knee, I've had to really make decisions on how I'm going to be able to move forward because I'm probably not going back into caregiving. So now it's so interesting how God is. Right when, because like I started having problems with my wrist back in like probably January. Yeah, it was after Christmas. I think it was after New Year's when I first started getting like these really bad sensations that would come like all up in here. I remember the first time I had the pain, all I knew was like if you had pain in your arm, that could be a heart attack. And I was freaking out like, oh my God, give me some aspirin. I might be having a heart attack. Ridiculous, but I was scared. But then I realized that it was more so like all up in here. And then every now and then I'd get pains in here, but I have a cyst right here. So I was thinking that it was the cyst, but then it would go away. But then I was getting the same pain in my knee. And so I'm like, what the world? And so then all of a sudden it just started just hurting. So I went to the hospital and he said, you probably sprained your wrist. And I was like, okay. And he was like, because you do so much driving. And I was like, okay. So he gave me my brace. And so I was like, okay, so when my arm would start to hurt or my wrist would start to hurt, I would just put my hand in the brace. But what wound up happening is this wrist started hurting. Now I'm left hand. So the fact that my right wrist was hurting was just really baffling to me. But I'm ambidextrous. I drive mostly with my right. So I was like, okay, fine. Yeah, I can see why they're saying it's from driving. But then remember, I told y'all when I fell, I got the bone spurts in my knee when I fell on a cruise. They have not fixed it yet, but it hadn't been hurting me for months. So I had kind of forgot about it. But then when this knee started hurting from driving, I started putting more body pressure on my left knee. That mess started hurting. So I was like, oh my Lanta, like, what am I going to do? So then I go see my doctor and they send me out for x-rays. And they're like, yeah, the bone spurts are still in this knee, so we got to take care of that. You have arthritis in your right knee. You have arthritis in your right wrist. But it's juvenile. So what you have to do is you have to stop driving. Now, back in January, when my wrist first started hurting, I stopped driving. I wasn't doing the Uber driving. I was just, driving them here to work, but driving to work every day in LA. But I was driving to LA like 7 times a week and then coming back. So then I had to stop working so many hours. They would put me on a leave, sick leave. But even in that sick leave, I still had to go because I didn't have anybody to take care of my clients. But then it started getting so severe that I would wake up in the middle of the night and just be in pain, like crying, my knee, like trying to get up to go to the bathroom. And I'm like, I'm in so much pain. And I don't like to take medicine. Like they were giving me like Flexeril or Roboxin and Tylenol threes and stuff. And I'm like, that stuff can really, like, it makes you loopy. And I don't like not being in control. That's why I don't drink like that. I don't smoke weed or nothing because I like being in control of myself. So those pills make you sleep and groggy, and I gotta drive my family, and everything. So I'm like, yeah, no. So she gave me some ibuprofen, but then we found this arthritis Tylenol. That's 650 milligrams of Tylenol, so you can only take one at a time. Well, I know people who take two, but I only take one. But then she gave me this cream that was helping for a while, so I was still able to work. Cream stopped working. So she took me off work. So I legit had to let it go. And I'm telling y'all, I'm so happy because I can focus on a lot of other things now, like being reunited with my kids, being reunited with my family. So super dope. Even though I could take the little ones with me, I've been able to focus more so on the farm, more so on ministry, working with commerce now. It's so crazy. I'm now, like, I went up to our town's commerce to see like what we could do as my church. What could we do to come and volunteer to help our community? And it just so happens that we're going to be having a health fair in October. So now I'm on the committee, and we found things that my church is going to be able to do to help. And I'm building relationships with people in the community and everything. And I'm just like, now see, a lot of times I wasn't able to do a lot because I would leave at dark 30 and get home at dark 30. But now I'm home, so I can get a whole lot more done. So I don't know if you guys saw my post on my community page of the spaghetti sauce that I made, but yo, like, I have boxes of tomatoes where I was able to handle them, dice them up, cook them, put them in the blender. Well, yeah, in the mixer, and then, can them. I hadn't really had time to do that kind of stuff. But God, thank you, Starduster. But God is putting me in position to do the things that I really want to do, but He's also providing the money. So now, if I take 3 hours out of my day, I can put like maybe 4 or 5 policies in the system and go on about my business. So I'm like, He's shifting everything around. And I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful because now I can do more videos. I used to not be able to do videos so much because I would always be driving. And like, yeah, right now I'm in the car, but that's because I'm waiting for them to get off of work. But, throughout the day, I can actually be at home, where I can actually, do my Costco videos or my Sam Club videos like I used to do. I can do a whole lot of stuff now. So this little freedom, even though right now it's for 3 months, I got to go to physical therapy. I got to meet with orthopedic specialists and everything and see what they say to determine if we're going to have to do surgery. They got to figure out what they're going to do with these bone spurts. I promise you, it was like 100 feet that they did that for, because it was 2 cars in front of them that were stopped. So why did they need to? Okay, because they felt like it, I guess, whatever. But I'm just looking at like all of these different things that God is moving out of my way so that I can focus on what I need to focus on, my family, my ministry. And it just feels so good. Like today, we get to work more in the garden. Like we were supposed to do a lot of stuff this past week, but those triple digits was just too much. It was just too much. I was miserable. I was really, it was like 109 degrees. And it was just, it was too much. And our AC was not working right. And what Earl said was he figured it out last night because we were trying to figure out how did the temperature, the thermostat go from Fahrenheit to Celsius? Because we didn't change it and we kept trying to reprogram it and we couldn't. And I was like, it's putting out hot air. And he was like, no, it's cold air. It's just so hot you can't tell. And I was like, there's no way in the world that the swamp cooler and the AC is on and it's hotter inside than it is outside. That makes zero sense. Well, he figured out that he needed to change the batteries. And when he changed the batteries, cold air started coming in. I was like, I don't want to leave my room now. It feels so good. I was like, yo, this is ridiculous. For the past like 4 or 5 days, we've been in agony. Oh, you're cutting your grass. We have no grass because we live in a desert, so we have dirt and sand. And I want grass in my front yard so bad, I do. But nah, they coming for us out here in California. Let me tell y'all something. I told y'all this before, but for those of y'all who never heard me say this. Okay, so we have community well. So that means that we and maybe 20 other families share the well. So we got to pay for it. And it's not super expensive or anything, but it's not our own well. So, we got to pay. How about in Los Angeles, they made it to where they have now put meters on people's personal wells. So if you spent $25,000 to $50,000 to get a well put on your property, now we put a meter on it. Or if you spent extra money to buy a house, you purchased a house with a well on it, yeah, we're going to put a meter on your well. I, for the life of me, don't understand how I spent all this money for a well and then you want to come put a meter, like you're going to make money off of. Why did I spend all this money for that then if you were still going to make money off of me? Because the whole purpose of having your own well is that it's your water. But now people with wells have to pay. Why does that? I'm like, did they do, hi, Frugal Mama, good morning. Did they do a sneak in on the ballots or something? Because I didn't see that when we voted. So I'm like, how did you guys decide that you were going to put meters on people's wells? I don't understand it. So that's LA County that's done that. I'm San Bernardino County. I'm the next county over. So I know they're coming for us. So I'm not trying to water my grass. I'm doing enough damage with the garden and the animals, especially right now with it being summer, because we got to give the pigs a lot of water. They have to keep their little muddy area, and then they got to have fresh water. So we're changing the water like 3 times a day, and then making sure that they have their little muddy area, and we hose them down. And oh my goodness, let me tell y'all, We live and we learn, right? Okay, that's my disclaimer. We live and we learn. If you've never had pigs before, then you don't think, oh, okay, I gotta water the pigs, gotta hose them down. It's summertime. Let me get the water hose. I'm watering my pigs and they're running from the water and like oinking at me. And I'm like, what? You need water. Let the water run for a minute so it won't be hot anymore. Because I pretty much assaulted my pigs on accident by spraying hot water on them because I didn't realize how hot the water was in the water hose. Yeah. They were kind of pissed at me for a minute, but they love me again. It's all good. But watering the pigs and watering the garden and making sure that the ducks have water in their pool and everything, like that's a lot of extra water. So I'm like, in our front yard, it's big. It's really big, you know. So that takes a lot of water to keep it going. The previous owners used to have the sprinklers on for an hour twice a day in the morning and at night. And that's why when we first moved there, that grass was so beautiful. Well, that's not in the budget. So now we have dirt and the occasional weeds. But but now the turkeys and the ducks and the chickens, they come into the front yard. Oh, I'm gonna be posting some videos of y'all for y'all to see what the turkeys are doing now because they act like they own the joint. They come all up in the front. They was jumping on my table. They were messing with my rack, just doing what they do. I'm like, these turkeys are a lot. They are so funny. So yesterday we went, every Friday we go to the feed pantry for the livestock and we get all those boxes of food. And so we had boxes of tomatoes. And so I'm going to show you this video. The turkeys, I think it was 3 or 4 of them, they were chasing each other. One would have the tomato and then he'd run for so far and then another one would take it from him and then they were just chasing each other, fighting over the tomato. I'm like, it's boxes of tomatoes back there for y'all, but y'all all fighting over this one tomato and nobody's eating it because y'all run so far, but you're trying to get away from your siblings. So then you keep dropping it. Then they snatching it. Nobody's eating the tomato. Meanwhile, we literally have hundreds of tomatoes in the back that you could just go get. I'm like, they are a mess. But they were standing on my table because I have my 4-inch round start containers. So they're jumping on my table and eating my stuff. And so I was like, what y'all don't know is that was a setup for y'all. What they were doing was, airplane. I should try to figure out in time, like how often they come. But what they were doing was, y'all know I have a tool around my rack, right? Well, I started seeing little holes in the tool. So I was like, these boogers are biting through my tool. So I was like, okay, I got you. Okay. So to deter them from my racks, I planted some stuff on the table. So I'm like, if y'all see this stuff on the table or on the ground in my milk crates, then y'all won't bother this stuff. And so far, so good. So far, so good. But I'm telling y'all, I mean, it's just been really crazy. But I'm making a decision that right now while I'm home, I am going to enjoy my family. Right now, all six kids are still at home. They're working, going to school, doing them. I told my children, I'm not the mom that's trying to push you out immediately, because once you're gone, I want you to be gone on your own. When you leave, I want you to be financially sound and, ready. All right, sorry about that. I told them, go to community college because we live in California. There's something called the California State Bog that if you are low income, you will go to school for free. They pay for your college tuition. Um, so between the California State Bog, pay for tuition, and then they get grants to pay for, their books and whatever, living costs. You can get an associate's degree in California without having any debt. So when Earl and I did it, we didn't accrue any debt from financial aid. We didn't get any financial. We didn't have any. What is it? The Sally Mae until until we were going for our bachelor's. But when we were getting our associates, we graduated without any debt. And so that's what we have our kids doing. And so I'm like, stay at home, save your money, help out with the bills, because you got to pay where you lay because you're grown. But at the end of the day, when they're gone, they're going to be gone. So I want all the precious moments. So I'm like, yeah, you can always get your own place. You can always, work two and three jobs. Right now, work one job, focus on your education. But that's just me and Earl. Some people are different, and I figure you got to do what you got to do. Everybody runs their household differently, but I'm like, I'm having fun. So, what are y'all doing? Are y'all, wait, what happened? It said something went wrong. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so like they can all graduate from community college without any debt. And then if they want to go to the university and live on campus, then they can do that. If they want to go to university and still stay at home, then they can do that too. Because I know that it will be a whole lot more expensive if they go out. However they choose to do it, they can do it. But they have options. In some states, they can't really do that. The state doesn't pay for your education. But I figure as long as the state is covering it, we're going to take advantage of that. Get your degree for free. Let them pay for everything, because in a sense, I mean, now that they're working, it's not as lucrative as it used to be for me. But back in the day, when they were just starting out, when like Earl and Diamond and Mecca were graduating, you know, they were still on, we were still filing for them. And so when you have six kids, it doesn't really matter how much money you make, you still are going to be qualifying for low income. So, free tuition, free tuition. And we take advantage of it. And so I'm just like, yeah, that's what we got going on right now. Um, I'm just waiting to see what the doctor's going to say about my risk. But what I'm noticing is when I'm not driving long distance like I used to, it might hurt every now and then. When I lift, I do get some pain when I'm lifting heavy stuff. Like for me to shovel dirt and stuff, it doesn't hurt. But say if I lift the milk carton with my wrist, it does hurt. So, and I guess shoveling, I'm using two hands. You don't typically use two hands to pick up a milk carton, but it's like I'm learning my limits. I'm learning. And so I'm like, okay, all right, we gonna get it together. But it's fun. Like I can get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and not have to drive to LA. I've been doing that the whole time we've been here. Every day have to get to LA. I had 2 clients. So I get done with my first client, have a little break, then go to my next client and not be home till like 7, sometimes 10, 11 o'clock, depending on what time I was done, because some days were different. Sometimes I had to go to work a little later, like 5 o'clock I would start. Then I might get home to like 11 or something. Then it's time to get people to work and do it all over again. So I'm so happy to be at home. So happy. And I can be involved with my community where I live and stuff. And like, I wasn't expecting when I went to the Commerce office to find out how I, as a representative of my church, could help the community. I wasn't expected to start getting put on different boards, but she liked my ideas and everything. And she's like, "You'd be perfect for this, or you'd be perfect for that." What? I'm live right now. What, y'all want to come get in the car? Mm-hmm. I'm gonna let y'all go because my kids are off work now. What? Is your dad done? Okay, so we're about to leave. Oh, you're taking. The sky is beautiful. Ooh, let me show y'all what Jay's doing. Oh, can I get it? Not from here. Can you show the people what you see? I have it faced this way. Show them the sun.
Show the sun. Turn it forwards. Nah.
Sorry.
What? What do you mean rotate the device? It's rotate. Something's up with your phone.
It doesn't want it to do sideways. It doesn't want it on landscape. It wants it on portrait.
Okay.
You got it? Thank you. That sky is so, the sun coming out is so beautiful. And it's what? It's too bright. Mecca says it's too bright. But at least we'll get going before it starts to beaming on me. Because sometimes when I'm sitting here, I have to move from this spot. I like to be right here because I'm right at the gate. And if anything happens, I can just shot out. But I have to go on the other side to where I'm facing with my back to the sun, so it's not bothering me. Hi, honey. How was work?
A lot.
A lot? Oh, it was a lot today. Oh, that's good. Then the time went by fast.
No,
No? Jay says no.
not on my side, man.
So y'all work together, but you work in different departments?
Basically, yeah.
Basically, yeah.
It's a conveyor belt. I'm on one side, she on the other.
I work
Oh.
in the back.
Oh, okay. Wait, you got something in your hair. Come here. You're where?
In the front.
Oh, you're in the front, you're in the back. Okay, got it. See, my working kids. And I gotta hurry up because I got another working kid that's got to get to work soon. But see, this little drive doesn't bother me. That long stint that I was doing, that's what was really hurting me. So this right here, I can be taxi. It doesn't affect me as bad as driving to LA every day. So that's good. But I'm gonna let y'all go because we're about to get on the road. So I want to chop it up with my kiddos. So y'all be blessed. Hopefully, Mecca, what is the weather supposed to be like today?
Hot.
Y'all hear her?
100.
100? Oh, just 100?
My phone's on the
Oh, your
charger.
phone's on the charger. Hopefully, it's not going to be super hot because I've
It's gonna be like 92 to like
Between 92 and 103
until like next week.
until like next week. Okay. That's better than 109 and 112. You remember when it was 112 when we were going through the mountain? When we were in Big Bear at the bottom, it was 112.
Oh, it's
So
85.
when we got, yeah, that was so crazy. As we got up the mountain, it got cooler. I thought that it would get hotter because we were closer to the sun, but no,
It's always cooler up there.
it's always cool. Well, then why isn't it cooler? Our elevation is almost 4,000, so I feel like our elevation should be
But
cooler.
Big
But
Bear is 6,000.
yeah, Big Bear is 6,000. So I don't know what I might do. What y'all might see me do is steal away to the lake and go fishing. I don't know. We'll
I
see.
don't go to the
You want to where?
beach.
You want to go to the beach? Maybe we're going to go to the beach today. I have no idea what we're doing today. We're going to figure it out. And if it's fun, I'll let y'all know. So remember, God loves you. You better love you because I love you. All right, y'all. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.